Mm. Good Monday morning. It's a muggy one outside. It rained earlier this morning. Early this morning. And I think this is the first good rainstorm with thunder and lightning that we've had in the morning time in quite some time. Oreo, of course, freaked out, started barking and whatnot in her kennel where she sleeps, because it's uncomfortable right now for us to sleep with her because she hasn't gotten the idea to sleep at our feet or on the floor. She's still a wild child, but she's doing good. She's a smart pup. And I think that makes it even harder because I know she understands what we're trying to tell her, but if she doesn't want to do it, she's either going to ignore it and try to play smart and do what we asked her to do, but 5 minutes come back and do what we told her, what we were trying not to let her do or trying to get her not to do. But otherwise, I can't fault the girl. She's still trying to learn her boundaries. She's getting in that adolescent stage, I guess you'd call it. Anybody who's ever been around dogs long enough or bred puppy, not bred puppies, bred dogs, know that they age quicker than humans and they develop quicker than humans. That's why I keep on trying to get on top of Jerry to make sure, we teach the puppy what we can now before she gets to the point where she was like, oh, I can do whatever I want. I can pee and poop inside, blah, 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 blah. And no. We are planning on doing training sessions with a professional here in town after our cruise. So we'll see what happens. But it's been an interesting couple days. Saturday, no, it's Sunday. Sorry, I had to get my mind straight. Saturday, we had a fairly good day, and then Sunday was Sunday was a really good day. I was in the best moods I've been in a long time, and I'm hoping to keep going that direction. Unfortunately, some of what happened yesterday, which I'm not going to talk about, it made me happy, but at the same time, it made me concerned because I think Jerry might have done too much. But I guess it's true what it says about when you can get your pain under control and you're not waking up achy and spending the whole day in pain, that your day can be a really positive day. And I think that's exactly what happened yesterday. It was just everything was such a positive. The new medication was working great. My pain was practically non-existent. If it was anything, it was just a pinch, but not enough to make me crabby or anything like that. So I guess it's just finding the right combination of positive energy plus the medication plus a decent night rest, so I just have to find the right mix so I can keep it going. Yes, I said mix like it's a recipe or a potion waiting to be concocted. But I'm in a good mood. Right now I'm a little tired because I'm still waking up, and the downside of waking up with the medication I am on does cause grogginess in the morning, which it makes it hard for me to start because the puppy wants to play as soon as she's out of her kennel. And I'm like, I only got you out of the kennel because you were barking and making a lot of noise, not because I wanted to play. But it takes her a while to realize, oh, yeah, the alarm didn't go off. You just let me out. She's gotten to the point where she recognizes when my alarm goes off, it's like, oh, time to get up. Let's wake everybody up and play. And I'm like, oh, no, it just means it's time for me to start waking up and take my medication and all that, not have you bouncing all over my body in my bed. Because especially my body, I have a spot on my left side, in the, I'm going to say the intestinal region on my left side, right above my hip. I don't know if that's the intestines or what that is, but she jumped on it fairly good last week, and I don't know if it's just happenstance or what, but that seems to be the spot that she's always stepping on or jumping on or whatever when I'm sitting or laying down. And I keep on checking for like black and blues or, you know, anything that could be a situation where I have to run to the doctor or the emergency room for perforated whatever. But she presses her boundaries she's very food oriented, so she presses her boundaries a lot when it comes to her food. And we're teaching her not to be in the area or not to be begging, basically. And if she was a good girl and did everything she was told, we give her some table, some of our scraps off of her plate. I'm going back over my information for vet tech to find all the different things that she can't have, because she wants to like have a little bit of everything we eat. And one of the biggest no-nos I found was chocolate. Do not give your pet chocolate. It's poisonous to dogs. It's poisonous to cats as well, but I knew that from the get-go because that was something I learned as a child with my dogs that we had when I was growing up. One of the dogs that we had in Arkansas, I think it was Arkansas, got into some Easter chocolate and got sick. I mean, like puking and pooping everywhere. And I don't mean just simple poop. I mean that liquefied dog diarrhea stench and the whole 9 yards. And I went, ooh. And, you know, the vet was like, what could she have eaten? And this is, you know, we had a boy and a girl way back when. And we were like, my dad was like, well, my son left the Easter basket too low, and the dogs got into it and ate all his Easter candy. And the doctor was like, oh yeah, if they got into chocolate, that's a big no-no. You know, you're lucky the dog is regurgitating and getting rid of it from its system. And, you know, there's certain other things the dogs should not have because it's not good on their system. So I told Jerry, if you're gonna give Oreo people food, don't give it to them where you're eating. Take it to the dog dish, scrape it in the dog dish, make sure, you know, the dog is not getting certain kinds of foods, and I listed off a whole bunch of them. But I don't know what goes on in the house when I'm not here, so I'm just hoping that people are listening. I think Jerry is, because she knows I know a lot about animals. But my biggest disappointment is, you know, Jerry started doing this, giving the puppy food scraps. without, you know, paying any mind of where she's giving it to her and that kind of stuff. And most of the foods that we do give her are not processed foods. Basically, they're not instant mashed potatoes or anything like that. It's, you know, all that, you know, pretty much natural. There's no artificial ingredient. Even though sometimes I wonder about cheese, because sometimes Jerry can't eat all her potatoes from her breakfast bowl, so she'll give Oreo the potatoes from her breakfast bowl, and sometimes there's cheese stuck to the potatoes. Now, I told Jerry to be careful on how much she gives Oreo, because we don't want her to get like diabetic or anything like that because of all the white potatoes. It's interesting enough, there are pieces, you know, we buy these pre-made salad kits that all you have to do is throw it on top of the lettuce with the dressing and whatnot and enjoy. Because of the way they prep these salads, there's always chunks of the harder inner core or whatnot from the head of lettuce, or there's pieces that Jerry just can't eat because it's part of the rib of the lettuce. So she'll give it to Oreo. She'll like prep a little dish for Oreo to have, so she, you know, Oreo actually likes lettuce. Reminds me my last dog I had way back in Arizona before my dad died. We called him Nutella. Yeah, or Newt for short. If you're wondering how I got that name, because I'm the one who named the pup, Nutella was one of those, we picked him up from a friend of ours who basically their dog had, or their dogs, because they kind of breed them, had a litter, and Nutella was the runt. And Nutella was a mixed breed. He was Shepherd, Husky, and Terrier. So he had the curled tail, the blue eyes, the Shepherd-looking like colorization, and the attitude of a Terrier. So my grandmother started feeding Nutella table scraps, and Nutella he would have eaten anything if we let him. Unfortunately, my mom started feeding him like the crust from pizza, so he knew what pizza was in no time flat. But we've been like smart with Oreo. We're not giving him breads, or the only starchy foods I can think of that we give him, or her I should say, is potatoes, you know. So I'm not happy that that Oreo is food oriented, because anytime somebody goes into the kitchen, she's right there up their butt, most of mine, because I'm the one who's in the kitchen the most, hoping that I'm going to give something to her or make something that she can have some of. And sometimes, instead of following the rules and regulations, if Jerry's eating in the living room, which she does most of the time, I eat at the dining room table because I don't need the dog up in my business. But she'll be on the couch practically in Jerry's face, like, "Can I have some?" And Jerry was talking to me yesterday about we need to be on the same page when it comes to the puppy, and I'm like, I agree, but this whole giving the dog food, or having the dog being more food oriented than command oriented, is something I just don't like, because I don't need that. I don't need the puppy in my face when I'm trying to enjoy a bag of potato chips watching a movie with Jerry. No. I'm already having enough problems when I try to sit down with a snack, you know. it's almost like, okay, great. That means every meal I eat, I either have to eat at the table in the kitchen or come in here and lock the dog out so I can enjoy my food without having a pair of beady eyes looking at me like, can I have them? It's annoying. Just simply put, it's annoying. So it's one of those things where it's like, I enjoy the dog, but if she's not, obeying, and we have to, constantly remind her and reprimand her and all that, 15 times within a minute's time to get her to realize that no, she's not going to get any. She'll learn that Jerry Ann will not share cereal, or there was something else that she told me that she won't share. Oh, ice cream. Yes, dogs will eat ice cream. My dog Nutella used to eat ice cream. Nutella used to literally chase ice cubes all over the kitchen floor. I think the only thing Nutella would not eat would be pickles, anything sour tasting. No, she didn't. No. She was not into pickles. I don't think I've introduced Oreo to pickles yet. I might try to do that later. See what she does with a slice of pickle. Not a spear, just one of those sandwich slices. I would have said sweet gherkin if I had any of my baby gherkins, but I haven't bought any of those in a long time. It sounds weird to say this, but lately, because of our limitations and whatnot, my desire for basic, I'm gonna say junk food, even though peanut butter and jelly or a ham sandwich are not junk food, they're not potato chips or anything like that, but my desire for canned chili or anything like that is just kind of like, no. And it's not because it's simple to make, it's just, I've been getting this like feeling of I want to eat real food. Not quick food, not fun food, just, pull out a package of steaks or pork chops or chicken or even ground beef and make a meal. Not a fend for yourself, quick and easy, but an actual meal. And unfortunately, a lot of times it's because time we lose track of time, and it's like, oh shoot, I've got 35 minutes before I have to start getting ready for work. I guess I'm just going to grab myself a Hot Pocket. I get tired of those. So it's just one of those. Yeah. What do I want to do? But Oreo can be a fun and she can be a great dog. There are times where it's just like, okay, you might still have energy. I don't. Playtime's over. Sorry. It's just one of those, you wore me out, Mutt. Leave me alone. Yes, I call her Mutt. I call her Dog. I can call her by her name. But she also knows when I get upset, my voice goes up, and I use that middle name where, she just kind of looks at me like, what did I do? I'm sorry. I don't know what I did wrong. But she just looks at me like, I'm sorry, Papa. But she's growing. Last time we weighed her, she weighed like 29 pounds. Or was it 29 or just 20? I can't remember, but she's getting up there in weight, and I'm like, I can't get her. I cannot pick her up. It hurts my back. I really don't want to lose that part because I love picking her up and carrying her around. Of course, my wife is like, why do you carry her on your left side when your left side is what hurts the most? And I'm like, well, I'm hoping that, I can't really, I don't know why, but my right arm does not want to function that way. It doesn't like the weight. But when I used to be able to pick her up without any problems, I can still pick her up, but it causes some problems. I used to just carry her under my arm like a sack of potatoes or something like that. And when we got close to the bedroom door, because most of our doors are closed so she doesn't get herself into trouble, when I get close to the bedroom door, like I'm reaching out to go, turn the handle, she's pawing at the door, like trying to push it open. I'm like, oh, okay. That's interesting. I've never seen a dog like that, it clicks in her mind that it's like, if I paw the door just right, it could open. Not all the time, but it could. So she knows that. In fact, last night, I don't know what was going on out in the rest of the house, but oh, I know what it was. Jerry was in the restroom, and she literally stood up, and she's tall enough to get her front paws on the counters in the kitchen, which kind of makes me go, okay. So this is where we have to start learning how to puppy-proof the house, because if she can get her front paws and her nose onto the kitchen counter, that means if it's not pushed far enough away, she's going to be able to try to use her tongue, because I've seen her do this, use her tongue to draw something close to her. And even though the plate was empty, she was able to get to a paper plate that, well, basically I went to go get seconds, basically, and we were using paper plates that day. But she was able to use her tongue to get the plate close enough for her to grab it and pull it off the counter. And I heard the paper plate and the plastic fork hit the ground, and I turned around and went, how did you do that? And I surmised what she did, because I've seen dogs do it. So it's like, oh boy, she's gonna be bigger than I thought she was gonna be. We hoped we were gonna, she's gonna stay about the same size as what she was when we first got her, which was small to medium sized dog. But then you think about her breeds. She's got Beagle, Boxer, German Shepherd, and the doctor said Husky, but I can't see it. Her eyes are not blue. Her tail is not curled, so I don't see Husky. But I can definitely see the Shepherd because of its colors, because of her coloring, and the little moles that Shepherds get around their face. Beagle, yeah, I saw Beagle when I first played with her. I was like, okay, she's definitely a Beagle. You can tell by the way the ears are, and just her curiosity level. And every time she gets outside, she smells something and starts digging a hole. I'm like, yeah, quit digging up my yard. Unless she's trying to make herself a porta potty. I don't know. But porta potty, Johnny on the spot, whatever you want to call him. But she's smart. As for the Boxer, well, paws are a fairly decent size. They got big. She was one of those dogs that when we got her, it's like, oh, she's gonna be a small dog. Look at these paws; they're not that big. Yeah, right. Then paws went, and the dog started growing, and I just kind of went, this is not what I asked for. But I was frustrated a couple days ago, and Jared's like, well, what do you want me to do? You want me to give the puppy to this lady who got the other two dogs, her brother and sister? I went, no, I don't want to get rid of the dogs. Just there are times I just need this dog not to be so, energized. Of course, there are some days where I just wish I look at the dog and go, how do I take the energy out of you and put it in me so I can do these things I need to do? But we've got a week and 2 days, or a week and a day if we don't count today, before we leave here to, get to New York. Once we get to New York, we'll have a couple of days. I don't know where we're going to stay, but we'll have a couple days to visit. You know, maybe go out for a meal. Of course, it's going to be the same way coming home. It's like we're going to get back to the New York area a week from the day we leave, and we'll have a couple days to come home. And I was joking with Jerry, but I was kind of serious with Jerry, and I said, so on our way home, since we're going to have a couple days before we need to be back here, we're going to stop and get, you know, certain items in New York that we can't really get here, like really good Chinese food and a buttload of bagels, New York style bagels. I'm sorry, you can like your you can like all the pre-packed bagels in the world, you know. Well, in America, I should say, not the world, but America. I have never tasted a bagel freshly made like I have in New York. Because we were talking about, oh yeah, we can get eggy sandwiches, we can do this and we can do that. And I said, well, on the way home, we got to stop and get Chinese food. We got to get bagels. We got to, if we have money, we can stop in Amish country and get stuff from the two different places that we like going. The one place I like going, Heine's, is just like all different kinds of cheeses. Just cheese, 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 and more cheese. And all kinds of flavors. You know, garlic cheese, you've got pepperoni cheese, you've got, well, you name it, they probably have it. They got some weird chocolate cheese, that kind of stuff. And then there's one other place that I want to go to because they have, I think both me and Jerry want to go to it because they have bulk rate herbs and spices and baking, you know, baking flours and, you know, just all kinds of things to bake with. You know, so we usually go there and buy bulk rate spices and, you know, big old like 1 pound container, or I think it's more than 1 pound, but it's a pretty good sized container of, you know, the garlic salt that we like to cook with. Things like that. So it's kind of like one of those, if we have the money, we're going to do this, this, and this, or we're going to sit down after the cruise and go, okay, we have X amount of dollars. What's more important, you know? Granted, we found here in Missouri a really good Chinese restaurant called Mandarin Gardens. And if we want bulk rate spices, I think there's a place in Cuba, but I'm not sure. So if, you know, if anything, it's like, okay, Chinese food I'm not worried about, because, you know, the only thing in Island Park, the Island Park Chinese restaurant when we were there that we can't really get out here, is really good dumplings and spare ribs. They're really good oh man. Or not the spare ribs itself, but it looks and tastes like what they did was they cooked the ribs in their sauce, shaved the rib bone and cooked it some more to give it its real good flavor. But their dumplings, I watched them make their dumplings, and the guy that I watched was, well, the store is family owned, but the guy I was watching, I don't know if he was an uncle or what part of the family he was, but he would literally have all the little dumplings, you know, all the dumpling wrap, and he'd have a whole bunch of them all pre-cut, and he'd pick one of those up, take chopsticks and roll it in the dumpling meat, throw it in the thing and close it up, and use chopsticks to like basically press it down so it's closed. Oh man, I'm getting hungry. What time is it? Yeah, it's about that time. And then there was the one place that The one place that used to be by the subway stop made some of the best egg sandwiches. You can get it on a Kaiser. You can get, no. What do you put it on? You had a choice of either a bagel or a croissant, not Kaiser, a croissant. But man, he made some of the best, because it was like, yeah, I'll take a ham and egg on an everything bagel with ketchup and pepper. That was a nice breakfast sandwich. Because I think Jerry used to get like what they call a double mess. And I don't know if she put any kind of meat or anything like that, but basically a double mess is, I think, it's 2 sunny side eggs on a bagel with, I don't remember if she put cheese or whatnot, but yeah, it was a mess. So they called it a double mess because of just how messy it was. And then there's this other shop, other delicatessen, pretty close to where I used to work. And you can buy bagels by the dozen. We used to buy plain bagels, onion bagel, everything bagel, raisin cinnamon bagels. I forgot what other kind of bagel, but we used to buy, a good 20 to 30 bagels or something like that. But it was like, I miss that stuff. I gotta bring some home. Nobody's tried to bring any to me in 4 or 5 years, maybe more. Whenever my in-laws, my sister-in-laws visited last, which I think was the year before Jerry was diagnosed with cancer. But, and the thing is, when we got him, when my in-laws used to bring them to us, we had like 3 bags worth of bagels, big paper bags. And they even brought us one that we never had before, a Neapolitan bagel. Or rainbow bagel, I forgot what they called it, but we took about like 75% of those bagels and wrapped them up in we put them in gallon-sized Ziploc bags, and we had like, I don't know, must have been like 6 to 8 bags worth of bagels, and we shoved them in, we put them where we could in the refrigerator or the freezer, so they last longer. Well, it was like the month before Jerry got diagnosed with cancer, I found the last 3 bagels. And they were the everything bagel. Now, if you've never had a real bagel, the everything bagel had basically, they were the bagels that were usually on the very bottom of the display case, while all the other bagels were on top. So all the different flavors from the other bagels would slowly get down to these bagels, and they would take the tray out. I learned this from one of the guys who ran a bagel shop. They would take the tray out, and they would take no, they didn't have bagels in that tray. It was just a catch tray. And they take the tray out with all the ingredients from all the other bagels, which was like sesame, poppy, onion, garlic, whatever kind of topping you think would be on a bagel, you would find it in this tray. And they would just take the bagel, or a batch of bagels, and they would set it up and prep it for cooking, and they would take all the seasoning and just either they would sprinkle it on top, or they would like roll it in the bagel dough, like put it in with the bagel dough, and then cook it, and then you'd have an everything bagel. And I tell you what, if you don't know if you want the exact items that you'd find in an everything bagel, go to Trader Joe's or go buy one of those jars that says everything but the bagel. And that's the kind of seasoning that they would have in this everything bagel. So, you know, if you ever make your own bagels and you got one of those season jars, you know, you can sprinkle on your bagels before cooking, you know. But I think I learned basically what makes a lot of the New York foods so good. And everybody I talk to says, yes, it's true. It's the water. Something about the water of New York makes things taste oh so delicious. And I really can't wait to get some. Yeah, I'd like to be able to, you know, since we're driving, we can, we're driving. Might have to put a cooler in the back end of the van to take with us so we can pick up all these goodies, especially food that might be perishable, like the Chinese food or the cheese and meats from Amish country in Ohio. But the plans are for us to leave out of here sometime the 17th, I think it is, and drive to, I don't know if we're going to stop in Ohio for the night or we're just going to drive through straight to New York, which could take us 20 hours. And I think the plan, or the partial plan, is at this point in time, unless Jerry feels up to it, is Jerry will drive through the cities and I will try to drive in between. That way Jerry has some time to recoup from driving through the city, and I have some time to just get used to driving long distances on the highway, because I don't think there's any major cities except for maybe Effingham between St. Louis and Indianapolis. I think that's just all highway, right? You know, highway and truck stops and small little towns that you don't have. My biggest thing is interchanges, you know. Now, depending on what time we hit Indianapolis, depends on if I'll probably let Jerry drive, because I'll probably be like, I'm tired, I need a nap. But we're going to work on that before we leave. We've already got about, I'm going to say 90% of the stuff ready to be put in a suitcase. So it's just last minute stuff like medicines, last minute clothing, and that kind of stuff. Now, from what I understand, most toiletries are provided by the cruise liner. Towels, shampoos, conditioners, that kind of stuff. Unless you have a special needs, like I need shampoo, conditioner, and one with dandruff fighting or dandruff control or whatever. But Jared just tried to call me a moment or two ago, so I'm going to go ahead and get off, because my mind is starting to go, okay, you said everything you had to say and then some, and you've got things to do, like finishing off laundry, taking my shower, you know, things like that I need to do more often. It's not like I don't shower for a month or so. It's more like, oh, I got this to do, and I forget about my shower. Or it's like, oh, I don't have enough time because I got to go to work, so I forget about my shower. Of course, I think Jerry said that I could take showers when I get home. Problem is, 9 times out of 10, when I take a shower, I'm revitalized and my energy comes back to me and I'm feeling great, and forget about trying to go to sleep, you know, not for at least an hour or two. Which I guess I could do, because if I get home between 10 and 10:30, I can take the shower then. Yeah, I guess I could do it at night. I don't know. But we're getting closer to that final week before, and I'm getting excited, which is probably making me feel good and happy and whatnot. And I'm just, you know, not really riding the wave, but more like just feeling good about going with the flow, you know, not worrying about anything, not, you know, it's like my back feels good, I feel good, what is there to worry about, you know, not much. But we have a lot of things, a lot of irons in the fire to pull out and hammer out in the next, well, between all the stuff for the trip and then some of the stuff that we've talked about for after the trip, and, you know, doing certain things. And Jerry said something to me a couple days ago about when we get back from the trip, look at all our stuff and see what we can sell. And I think the biggest reason why is because she asked me once about, right now, what can I think of that would make me happy? Well, I said, I don't know about the trip and how happy that's going to make me, but I know the way I feel is if we can somehow get a little extra money, whether I have to go full-time at my job or not, which I don't want to, because it's going to really screw up my back. I told her I really don't know right now, because, I mean, yes, I want to get an RV because I want to be able to, this summer, I wanted to be able to go RVing. But the problem with that is I only have 2 days a week off. And she was saying something about looking into I forgot what it was now, but she was talking about selling stuff. I'm like, no, unless we go for a full purge and literally go through each room and look at each room going, do we really need this? Do we have a place for this? Is this really a necessity? No? Okay, put it in the sell pile. You know, I've got a couple books I could probably get rid of, especially, I mean, like, how many daily devotionals do I really need? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5. I've got several other books that I'm just kind of like, I don't know. Oh, I do know this much. After going through a bunch of my books and whatnot, yeah, we have not finished this. And I know a lot of people were like, telling me they like hearing about the Norse or Viking stuff that I have. And, you know, I know a bunch of you said something about cooking videos, and I'll be honest with you, cooking videos right now with the way things have been going are difficult, mostly because time. I have to try to push myself to rearrange my time so I can, or not rearrange, set up my time. I mean, sit down with my calendar and go, okay, if I wake up at this time of the morning, I have until this time to do whatever in the morning time, and then I'll have enough time to do a quick video. We are actually coming we're coming closer to summertime. And Jarianne and I were actually talking last night about going back to do some of the Nordic cooking. Problem is, right now, I only have one book with recipes for Nordic cooking. Then I have the, actually I have, the Nordic Way, which is some of the recipes I've already done. I have the Scandi Kitchen, which is actual recipes from what we now call Finland, Norway, Sweden, Denmark, and Upper German recipes. Scandinavia is what that area used to be called before it was divided up and given different names. But it's from the Scandinavian territories, I guess you'd say. You know, and I thought I had another one, but I'm not sure. No, that's not a cookbook. The problem with a lot of the recipes in the Scandi kitchen is it's food from that area, which we don't have a lot of. So I was thinking, you know what, I've got different recipes out in the, you know, I have different recipe books out in the kitchen that I can use. Like, you know, I might have to go back through my videos and write down the ones I've already done, or just kind of go, you know what, let's start from the beginning. And yeah, some people are going to be like, oh yeah, you already did this one. And I'll be like, yeah, this is more for the newbies than the long-standing people that's been with me for a long time. But anyhow, this is going into 50 minutes, and I did not want to make a long one, but it happened. So you're up to date pretty much on what's going on with the vacation and all the possibilities for the future and just the way I've been feeling lately. If there's any particular questions that you want me to deal with, maybe I'll start writing down your questions and do a Q&A day so I can answer some of your questions. Because I have not really sat down to answer questions when I see them, because I'm either trying to rush through my day or I'm just kind of like, I don't know. So, if you all want to pitch in, we can do a Q&A. Basically, you write down, you send me your questions. I will look at the questions and decide which ones should be answered, which ones shouldn't be. Actually, I'm just going to make it simple. Write down your questions for my channel. Don't worry about what Jerry's channel is, what's going on with Jerry's channel. She's doing good. She's trying to get back to it. I don't care about what's going on in other people's channels or GB or any of that crap. You can ask me questions about me. You can ask me questions about what I'm reading. You can ask me questions about what I'm planning on doing here on YouTube. I actually just found out last night, I may not be able to do YouTube while we're out to sea because no Wi-Fi, no signal. At least that's what I was told. I read something on their information. It sounds like they do have they do have Wi-Fi, but it's either limited or it costs. And if it's limited or cost, I might as well say we don't have Wi-Fi. So I don't know if I'll be able to do any videos. Well, I could do videos and then just set them up. I just have them ready to go when I get back to land. You know, maybe they'll have Wi-Fi in Bermuda and I can quickly slap on a bunch of videos. Don't know. But anyhow, I'm going to cut it off right now. So that's my video for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, you can give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, I'm sorry. You can put a thumbs down anyhow, but I probably won't worry about it. If you have any questions, like I just stated, you have any questions, go ahead and put them on there. I will write them down and we'll do a Q&A day sometime later this week, probably Friday. If you're not new to, no, I'm saying that wrong. If you're new to my channel, if you're not a subscriber of my channel and you want to become a subscriber, you can just click on the little subscribe button and then a bell will pop up. You click on that bell and YouTube lets you know when my next video comes up. So until next time, you guys have a good week. Enjoy. Bye.